Hello, hello, wherever you are in the world. This is Agnes van Rhijn from the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, the owner of Success on Your Own Terms. And today it is my absolute pleasure to be interviewing Jacquelyn Gioertz, who is a Chief Manifesting Officer, I love that, at Empowered Consciousness LLC. She has spent many years living in Europe and traveling the world. Her life has been spent teaching others to understand life and follow their passions. She's an avid student of the universal laws and an energy healer. As a transformational thought coach, intuitive life coach, infinite possibilities trainer, law of attraction practitioner, author, speaker, and artist, her goal is to inspire and empower women to embrace their uniqueness and discover their strengths to create the life they love and deserve. Oh, absolutely delighted, Jacquelyn. I love what I just heard. Welcome. How are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad to be here.
I see that we have a lot of things in common. I love what you are willing to achieve for women in the world. That's amazing. So tell us about more about you. Tell us about, did you have a dream originally? What happened?
Yeah, it's one of those things, how you have something that you've always done, right? And you never really put any words to it. Well, my skill has always been helping other people understand their own brilliance, right? Because sometimes we see something in other people that they don't see for themselves, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's something that I've kind of always done. And it occurred to me, I remember I was 33 years old and I was standing in an elevator in Singapore with my husband at the time. And I remember thinking, who am I? Who am I besides Mrs. Gioertz? Who am I besides my children's mother? There must be more to me. There must be more to life than the role I'm currently playing. And it occurred to me that, if I feel like that, chances are other women do as well.
You know what I love is this notion of role that you were playing, because that's really something that is a problem for most of us that we are unaware of.
Right. And so we forget who we are, right? So my goal then at that point became, because I did realize that I'm able to see other people's brilliance and see who they are, that I decided, well, first of all, I'm going to discover who I am, get back on track with who I am. What did I come into this world to do? What is my purpose? And as I discovered that, I realized that my goal, my purpose in life is to empower women. So whether they're in transition from being a mommy or maybe in corporate, or maybe now they're an empty nester, or in my case, as time went on, the following year I was actually widowed. So I was widowed at a very young age. So this thought process that started when I was 33 about who am I other than the wife and the mom became obviously very, very urgent for me to discover that. Because now all of a sudden I'm like, here I am, who am I? And then that's when I decided to really delve into the universal laws and the law of attraction specifically, and really figure out, okay, how do I create a life I desire? And how do I get to that point of really making it happen? Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense. So how old were you when you really started your business?
I officially started my business. Actually, I started several businesses along the way. So I've been in business for, I don't even know how long. Well, I moved back to the States in 94. So 94, 95 is when I started my first LLC. And then from there, I've just kind of evolved. I started my coaching practice, Empowered Consciousness. I started that one in August of 2012. That's when I had a company before that called Life Designer, but really got serious about it in 2012.
Do you still have those other companies, or other companies, maybe not the same one?
No, I've continued to evolve. I've let them go and created something new because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do or where I stood. It was definitely a process, and it was, the other process is getting to the point of is this really a business? If you've been doing something your whole life, you're teaching people,
Yeah.
you're helping them understand, you're sharing your knowledge, your gifts, and to you it comes easy, so you don't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's another thing we have in common, because I had 2 other activities as well, and I decided earlier this year to focus only on my work with women, on my work with Success on Your Own Terms. So when you started, what were your biggest challenges? What have you come along the way?
The biggest challenges were believing that this was a business.
Mm-hmm.
Believing that I could charge money for these
That's a very female problem.
It really is. And I think this is a big problem with women stepping into business, because there's 2 things. One, the other thing that's really important to me is I work with the divine feminine energy, the divine goddess within, that goddess energy. So, I'm known as the goddess guide. So I want to reawaken that inner goddess. So the challenge is that women have had to play in the masculine world. They've had to have their vibration at a completely different level in the masculine world. The masculine world is a very different energy. It's about competition. It's about greed. It's about systems. Women function on a very different level. We're more about collaborating. We're more about nurturing and a creativity. So we have to have both. We have to have the structure and all of that as well. But so for me, one of the biggest challenges was stepping out, because I used to be in corporate when I was living in Germany. So stepping out of that masculine energy, recognizing that what I have is valuable, even if I don't have a degree or whatever, it's who I am has value. Mm-hmm. So recognizing that I can build a passionate, purpose-driven business around it and actually charge something and create a living with that. That was for me the biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm. And so, what is your biggest success, to take the opposite of it?
The biggest success is when I was just starting out, my goal was to have a women's retreat, to hold a women's retreat, a 3-day women's retreat. And it was very naive of me. Knowing what I know now is very naive of me. However, it was life-changing for the women that were there. So my goal...
Sorry, can I ask you why you thought that it was so naive?
Looking back at it now, the way I did it financially, it was not a win for me.
Okay.
From a business perspective, it was very naive.
So it's the business aspect of it.
Right, because I thought, I'm going to put on this fabulous retreat, a 3-day retreat. It's going to be all-inclusive. Women are just going to swarm to it because it's so amazing, right? And, women did not swarm to it. And this is I did this in 2013. So I started my business in August of 2012, and I did this in April of 2013. So I didn't really give myself a lot of time to build business. But the women that were there, it was a very small, intimate group, as you can imagine. But the women that were there, it changed their lives. I changed 2 women's total life path because they were at my retreat. That to me...
Can you give us an example?
Yes. One of the women, well, let me back up a little bit. I'm an infinite possibilities trainer, and I don't know if you're familiar with Mike Dooley.
No.
Okay. Mike Dooley was one of the teachers in the movie The Secret.
Okay.
And he had a program, and that's another whole story about law of attraction. You gotta love it. But I became one of his certified trainers in his program, Infinite Possibilities. So Infinite Possibilities is basically thoughts become things.
Yeah.
What you think about, you bring about, right? And it's a whole program how to teach you in the law of attraction. So on the retreat, that was one of the biggest key components, was teaching that law of attraction, thoughts become things, and how you get rid of the beliefs that aren't serving you. So for 2 of the women that were there, they loved the program so much that they went on to be infinite possibility trainers themselves.
Oh, that wasn't planned?
Right, it wasn't planned at all. And the one quit her job because she was not happy with it anyway. She quit her job, she wrote her book, and she's an Infinite Possibilities trainer. The other one also continued on the path with Infinite Possibilities, wrote a book, and is doing extremely well. So, I mean, it's just like, it changed everything for them.
All of that based on 3 days. Wow.
Yeah. So to me, those are the things, that's to me, that's my biggest success, because I love impacting women's lives. I love empowering a woman to step into her own brilliance and recognize it.
Mm. And so how do, because we're talking about transformation here, and so how do you work with your clients? Do you still have, you know, workshop types of approaches, or are you going more onto, you know, longer mentoring programs or so?
Right. I do one-on-one coaching over a 3-month period or longer, but it's 3 months minimum, because you really, in order to really see that transformation, it takes time. You didn't get where you are overnight. It takes a little time to change and start living the new processes of the new thoughts. So I do work one-on-one with people for 90-day period minimum. I also do workshops. I do one-day events. I have done another a one-day retreat, which is like 9 in the morning till 10 at night, which was also fabulous. That was another really great event. So yeah, I just kind of go with the flow of what I see is needed. When I see there's a need for a specific group, then I can offer a workshop. I also do webinars, teleseminars, telesummits, that kind of thing. So it's a matter of getting as much information out there so people can learn the tools to start changing their lives. So one-on-one and workshops are my favorite, because I like the personal touch.
Yeah, that's what I prefer as well. I'm like you. I do offer 3 months, but my preference really goes to 6 months, and at some point I was even saying 9 months, giving birth to the new you.
Right.
That's when you really see the transformation. I love that. Yeah.
And really, in all reality, a year is really a good time frame. You can see so many changes in a year, and that's part of what I love, because part of my job is connecting the dots for them. So when you teach something, right, and they go and do that, and then a week later something happens, and then they forget why that happened. Well, if you go back and connect those dots, and then they go, oh my goodness, and the light goes on. And it's like, okay, now you get it, now you can repeat it. Right? So if you do that over a year, now you really see some transformation. Now you can go back and recognize the transformation. And that's the fun part.
It's you made me laugh when you said connecting the dots. I told you multiple times already, given we spoke before as well, that we have quite a few points in common, and that's exactly what I describe to my clients. I'm connecting the dots. I help you connect the dots. It's exactly that. Yeah. It's fascinating. So I find that really interesting. The women that come to work with you, do they already know at the moment you start working with them that they're going to, well, not all of them of course, but going to work for a long time with you? Are they conscious of information? Yes,
because when I do a discovery session with someone, we sit down and we have a 30-minute discovery session or strategy session, whatever you want to call it. But that 30-minute, it's complimentary, but it's so we can get to know. I can see where you're at, you can see what I'm offering, and I can let you know whether it's a fit or not. Sometimes it's not a fit, and I might refer you to someone who's better fit, right? But what I discovered during that time is when I know what tools I have, then I can present them with the results, saying, okay, this is where you are, this is where you'd like to go. It won't happen overnight, probably. I mean, anything is possible. I don't like to limit anything is possible. But typically, change takes a little bit of time. Probably not as long as you think it will, but it does take a little bit of time. And the whole process of this is, once you get into recognizing the power of your words, the power of your thoughts, and then of course your actions. It becomes such an awesome game to play. And the longer you play it, the more it becomes your way of life.
Yeah.
And the more it's your way of life, the easier it gets. So the more you have the longer you have someone holding your hand through that process, the easier it gets and the quicker you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that you point at the action part of it as well, because that's also somewhere where I was going to say women, not necessarily women only, but can go wrong with this whole law of attraction idea, is that all of a sudden it's the words, it's the thoughts, but it's the actions also. They just don't take the actions. Yeah. And I've been there.
Yeah, and it's easy to fall into that. It's like, well, I'm going to sit here and visualize for 20 minutes every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Why isn't it on my front door? Right. The key though with what I teach is that the action you take, it's not about how much ground you're going to cover in that action. It's about letting the universe know that, hey, I'm out here. You know, you have to get out so the universe can reach you. And you have to get it, like, the action you take only has to be pushing you in the right direction. It doesn't have to be about the distance you cover to get to your goal.
As long as it's in the right direction.
It has to be in the right direction. And it could be something very, very small, but it will have, I always call it the dance with the universe. Because you take a step and the universe takes 10 steps. And doors fly open. You only have to take a baby step for that to happen, but you do have to take the step.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's where the dance is you cover so much ground, and when you really feel that music of that dance, you can really, really have some fun with it. Mm-hmm. So it's the magic of the universe.
You definitely don't look passionate about it at all.
Right? Not even a little bit.
So, Jacquelyn, given that this show is about, or the objective is to inspire women to make things happen in their life, what would you recommend to women who are at the verge? There is this dream that they're having and they're not going for it.
Oh, just got goosebumps. Love that. There's a couple of things to start with. One is if you have a dream and you can't believe it, because you know we've been programmed for many, many years like, you can't do that. You know, there's a lot of limiting beliefs in there. That's something else I do. I hope to clear that out, but that's a different thing. Start with something simple as start writing down what if, because when you start saying what if, now you've opened up the possibilities. So if you've got this dream of having your own business and you're going, oh, I really couldn't do that. But what if you could? What if there was a way to do it? What if somebody really, really needed what you have to offer? What if you could create an amazing income for yourself doing this? What if you were able to create an amazing lifestyle for your family? The what if. Take away the resistance in your vibration. So it raises your vibration. And it starts opening up the possibilities for your thought and for the universe to come in. That's the first thing. The second thing, the most powerful thing that you have are the words you're using. So the words, there's so many disempowering words, and words like try or should. Those are two that I say, take them out of your vocabulary. They're so disempowering.
Yeah.
Right? And switch them up. With try, all you have to do is make a decision. Either do it or don't, but make a decision. Don't try to do it. Because, and even if you make a decision and say, yes, I'm going to do it, but you're not able to accomplish it, you don't have to beat yourself up for that. That's okay. But the point is you made the decision. You came from an empowered point of being, right? You made that decision. And should is just don't should all over yourself. You could if you chose to. It's a choice.
Absolutely.
Right. So those are the two things. What if will get rid of the resistance in your manifesting, in your vibration, and that starts getting fun if we start going into what if. And then the other thing is take out words that are just empowering, and two of them are try and should. If you just shift those two little things in your world, you'll see changes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's something that I keep repeating as well, is that fear will always be there.
Mhm.
But you can embrace it. And I probably said the same during the last interview. Tend to be repeating myself because I really believe that,
Mhm.
is that once you embrace that fear, you end up in a situation where instead of having it paralyzing you, it's fueling. In fact, it's helping you moving forward.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth to that because the fear is, there's so many things around that. I like the one where it's FEAR, is false evidence appearing real,
Mhm.
right? And usually that's what it is. Sometimes it's for your own protection, you got to, and there's a difference between that kind of fear and just the fear of, oh my goodness, can I do this? Right? But like you say, once you embrace that and step into it, it's usually not nearly what you thought it was going to be.
Absolutely.
It just isn't. If you embrace it, walk through it, and come out on the other side, and it's like, yes,
And that's very empowering.
it is.
So what is your actuality? What is your next challenge? What are you looking forward to?
What I'm doing right now is I've got a telesummit that's coming up in October, and I've got 10 amazing speakers lined up. They're not all in place yet, but I have that's being put into place right now. And that's going to be all about the mind-body connection,
Mm-hmm.
how powerful your mind and your thoughts are, and how they really actually affect your body on a cellular level. So that's kind of cool. I'm very excited about that. And then I also have a Reawakening the Goddess Within event coming up in September. So those are the things I'm working on right now, and it's a lot of fun.
That event, is that a virtual event or is it a real world event?
That's a live event here in Florida.
Mm-hmm. How long?
And how long is it? It's a one-day event.
Okay.
It's a one-day event, and it's actually a half-day event, so it's going to be probably for locals here. But there will be another one coming up where people can come from all over, because it will be a full-day event, and that one is Dancing with the Universe. I haven't quite set the date on that one yet. It'll probably be in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
But,
so I always like to ask that, who are your clients?
My clients are women. Typically, they're 45 and up.
Mm.
They're women who are feeling lost and alone. What I do is I help them remember who they really are, what they really want,
like
and how to get it. So, like I said before, whether they're coming from being mom in the corporate world, and now they're, empty nester or passionate, purpose-driven entrepreneur, whatever it is, I'm going to show them how to really reconnect to who they really are, what they came here to do. I believe everybody came into the world for a purpose.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Right? And so it's time to be who you came here to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can show you the way.
And give so much more meaning to the rest of your life. Wow.
Yes. And here's the thing that really excites me. When you step into your purpose, and this is why I'm so excited where you said you've shifted what you're doing, because you're really fine-tuning what your purpose is.
Mm-hmm.
That has such a ripple effect. Because not only are you changing your life, but all the people that you come in contact with, whether it's your clients or your family or your neighbors, that ripple effect is astounding, and that's how we create a better world for all of us.
You and I are going to talk a few hours after this call.
Right?
Ripple effect and oh gosh, these are all words I'm using as well. Yeah. What I find interesting in what you described is that quite often, I will say people again in this case, will come to a massive transformation generally because there is an important life event, which is basically what happened to me last year, and which generated all the very different choices that I've made thereafter. But you quote unquote anticipated. It was 1 year before, and that's more rare. So if you look back at that elevator in, what was it? Did you say it was Singapore? Yeah. What generated that thought for you? Where did it come from?
I think it came from the fact that I was so involved of being everything to everybody else. And I think this is the trap that a lot of women fall into.
Absolutely.
We're taught, at least my generation, we were taught to put ourselves on the back burner.
Absolutely.
You take care of your husband, you take care of your children, you take care of everybody, and save the world if you can. And then, if there's anything left on time and energy, then absolutely you can have that.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, I mean, I was living this amazing life. I had this amazing life. And I used to say I had this bubble. I hope nobody comes with a pin and pops it. And unfortunately, that is what happened.
Yeah.
So again, the intuition that your soul knows what's going on in this lifetime. But I think that was the thought process that I was at, where I thought, well, there has to be more to me than just being everything to everybody else. There must be something more.
Were you already open to personal development at that stage, or?
Right. Yes, I was. The interesting thing was, it's all my life I have done. I've been a hands-on healer, and I didn't really know it.
Mm-hmm.
And like now, I'm a Reiki master, and I do energy work and things like that. But even as a child, I can remember people wanting me to give them a massage, or I was always being asked to be there to do some kind of healing work, and I never really understood it. And I also used to do like palm reading, or like hand analyses, as it's called. It wasn't until after my husband passed away, though, and I came back to the States and started delving into some of this stuff, that I realized there are actually books on this stuff. I thought this is just something that I didn't know that other people knew it too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that other people felt the same things, and there were whole books and topics to be studied. It's like, oh, look at that. So it was quite fascinating. That's when I officially started reading about all of it. But it's actually something that I've done all my life. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. You make me very curious. So unfortunately, half an hour goes extremely quick. And so tell us where, the listeners can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me at www.empoweredconsciousness, EMPOWERED, Empowered Consciousness, CONSCIOUSNESS.com. I know it's really long, but it's empoweredconsciousness.com. And there's also a gift there for your listeners. There's an audio on there that they can immediately download and really start using some of the things that I teach. So that's on there that they can have immediately.
Okay, super. Well, in any event, for the Mouthful website address, it will come with the interview as well. So, Jacquelyn, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this, and I know for sure that we're going to enjoy more time together. That's for sure. And so, for the listeners, as usual, the interview will be released on Monday, and the interview will be live on my website. Now it's my turn for a mouthful. www.anyesvanrhijn.com, and that is ANYESVANRHIJN.com, and simply go to the WWMTH Women Who Make Things Happen show tab, and you will find the interview for 1 week, after which it will be removed to go to the archive page, because there will be another guest replacing Jacquelyn. So thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.